Okay, we're going to head back now
Yeah.
to Connah Quay.
Mother-in-law.
It's about 10:30 now. And, most places are closing, gyms, supper bars, giving up the ghost for the evening. And I do think that Shotton Kebab is not open. I thought it was unusual that it was shut. I'm not 100%, but this is generally when the unusual types come out. It might get interesting this time of night. Had anti-vandal panels put on this because years and years it was just tiles and they were constantly getting decorated, so I think they got fed up. There's the Central again. 19... I can't read that. Does it say... It looks like it says 1945, but it can't be. I think it's 1915 or 1918 maybe. I can't see it now. I can see the other one said Central Hotel at the top. But that one at the top there, I can't quite make out. Not quite anyway. Boots the Chemist has been here for quite a long time. It says on there since 1849, but I don't think Boots in Shotton's been there. I was going to say, I don't think Boots in Shotton's been there since 1849. Yeah, Potluck looks as though it's being turned into something. I'm not quite sure what. All I can say is I really hope it's not finished. Fingers crossed. Yeah, town is a different beast at night. You don't know what you're going to find. Used to be a cafe here years ago. It's one of these cafes when the door was open, enough cigarette smoke to knock someone off their feet. It used to come bellowing out. You know, a real with nail and eye type cafe. It's a Sunday night as well, so it's reasonably calm because there's quite a lot of people in work in the morning. So there's not quite so many people getting tanked up in the likes of the Clwyd, etc. Whereas yesterday at 10:30, probably be a bit of a different story. Shotton Food Centre. And again, I don't recognise that one. Maybe it's new, maybe it's just that I've forgotten. Charity shop, cancer research, bargain booze. Just really a bit more of a walk than anything, this one, because I've done a bit yapping about history and stuff that's going on, etc. in the other one, so this one really is just a bit of a walk through town, see how the walk goes. The nightlife, the night creatures. And the funky electronic signs. I didn't have them when I was a kid. There's housing there now.
Where?
There. Is that housing?
Yeah, it's above, you know, it's quite big up there, you know.
Okay.
I've seen it on, you know, you do the videos and you walk around.
Yeah.
Up the rent.
Oh, I see.
Quite big up there. And up there. That one's for sale up there. And it's handy as well, you know, for, you've got your shops. And it's quite big, that's all the way around.
Yeah, if you haven't got a car, you live in the centre of town and you're either a millionaire or you don't need to travel far to work, then you're generally alright. But if you have to work somewhere reasonably obscure, a little bit out of the way, not quite on a train or bus route, then you're kind of semi-doomed because you won't have anywhere to park, will you?
So the buses, they run every 20 minutes, don't they?
Yeah, the buses are quite good, to be fair.
And there's bus stops everywhere.
It's just if you want to go somewhere obscure, like I used to work in Monadissa, and getting from Connah to Monadissa 20 years ago was an absolute nightmare. Pretty much impossible. Yeah, pretty much impossible. So if you're working somewhere obscure, then you're doomed, you have to have a car. Because otherwise you've got no chance pretty much.
But now you can get the bus to Chester Bus Exchange.
Yeah.
And then there's buses there too, all over the show like Monadissa.
Yeah, I think you could get a bus from... Yeah, I think you could get a bus from Monadissa to Buckley or somewhere, then Buckley to Chester, then Chester to Connah, but one of those was... Yeah, but one of those would invariably not come, so you'd have to wait for the next one, which was 3 hours or whatever, so usually a 10-minute journey would take about... Yeah, usually a 10-minute journey would take about 4.5 hours on the bus, because I know this very well because I did it for 33 years. So I've kind of been there, got the t-shirt when it comes to travelling by public transport. And that's why I go everywhere in the car now. Because public transport let me down so many times. That is the whole reason why I started to drive.
Chinese buffets back open.
Yeah, I mentioned that on the way up.
It's not bad either, is it?
No. How's about a review, Anne-Marie? What do you think?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I can't remember how much it was now. It's about 15 quid.
It wasn't much, yeah.
And you get all your starters and your main course, your soups, your rices, and your puddings.
Yeah.
There's a array of puddings as well, all included.
Too close.
Array of puddings, all included.
Yeah.
And there's nice decor for the inside. The only problem is there's no toilets downstairs.
No,
so
you have to
if
go
you
up.
are disabled, you need the toilet, then I'd advise you not to come.
And in
Unless
fact,
you
there they
can-
both are. There's one.
Unless you
And
come,
there's the other.
have your meal here, and if you need the toilet,
Go to
disabled
Asda.
toilets in Wetherspoons.
Go to Wetherspoons, yeah.
Yeah, there's a disabled toilet in there.
Yeah, this is the old job centre now. I think last time we come past here, it was all falling to pieces, I think. As in, not being used for ages, and the job centre had moved out and it was shut. But I think that's the sort of condition it was in last time we come past 2 years ago. Have to come past again in another couple of years to see how it's getting on. Yeah, now it's a bit more peaceful. You can talk a bit more quieter. The row of houses here. Oh, spoke too soon. The row of houses here date from the Victorian era, so. So they're getting on a little bit. But I'm not going to dwell too much on the stuff now.
And that's where you can park your car if you're going to Chinese buffet.
Yeah, I don't know if that's official, but that's where people do parking.
Yeah.
I think that's actually the solicitor's car park, but
Well,
at past 6 at night, they're not really bothered, I don't think.
No, because they're not there. They've taken the railings away.
Yeah, so they have.
Nothing away.
Railings are gone. Maybe someone smashed into them and bent them in half.
Oh, maybe then.
Probably costs an absolute fortune to replace them, so that's a guess.
This was a dentist or something, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was a dentist here.
It's not ours, isn't it?
The cenotaph area has been tidied up and expanded over the years. I like what they've done with it now. I like this, whatever they call it, tiling on the floor, footing, whatever it's called. And I like the fact that this has been cleaned up because it's looking nice at the moment. It's looking really, really nice. It's really shining, the marble. What stands if freedom fall? Who dies if England live? Rudyard Kipling. Yeah, they have done a nice job of getting that cleaned up. So fair play to them. And these benches for the Tommies. It was 1914-18 war, so it would be 100 years since the end of the First World War in 2018. So I think some of these memorial benches have been popping up here, there and everywhere. It's funny because when I was a kid I don't remember people who fought in it, you know. Was it Harry Patch, the last Tommy, I think? Tommy is a name used for the troops, the infantry, pretty much in the First World War. And I think I'm not quite sure, but I think the last one in the UK was a gentleman called Harry Patch. I think he was definitely on the last list, so to speak. The building across the way there with the wall, that was something too, wasn't it? Can't remember exactly what. Was it solicitors or something, love, or? I'm not sure. Memory's getting a bit tired now. Like I say, old man memory. It's good to see that we've got a few benches still knocking around for people to sit on and I don't know, have a chat or just a chill. All in all, it's been quite peaceful, hasn't it? Possibly after a certain time of night the beeping stops. We just press the traffic light button and the little green man came on, but there was no beeping. But then probably approaching 11 o'clock now, if not gone, so Tesco's is open for about another minute.
No, 20.
Fair
You
dues.
want a drink or not?
We must have got a shift on. Yes, please. Yeah, I'll have a drink. I'll be able to talk a bit then. Could I have a small bottle?
Yeah. There's the water.
Sorry?
There's the water.
I don't know, but there's an awful nasty niff. I don't know what it is, but it does an half pong. I wonder if it's coming out of that grate.
No, it could be. Oh no, it's not. Must be that place there.
Mmm,
I think it's rained, isn't it?
there's a delicious pong.
I know it's raining.
I think you might be leaving it a bit too late, do you? Gentleman's closing up shop.
Only 22:42.
Okay. Just grab one quick then.
That water.
No thanks. Cola or something. A diet one. Or anything along those lines is fine. No, I just had about 3 litres of water, so I think I'm watered out. Just a tiny bit more peaceful here at the moment, isn't it? But equally, you never know who's going to leap out from the next corner when it's evening in this town. I've lived here long enough. Overall, though, it's not a bad little town. Tesco's here is open till 11 p.m. We must have got a shift on really coming from Shotton because I think we left Shotton at about, I don't know, 25 past 10 or past 10, something like that. So how we've got here so quick, I don't know. It doesn't feel that quick, but unless the clock was a little bit wrong, more than likely. Down here, you've got Connah Funeral Care now. That was Contact Cars taxi office for probably about 15 years or so. And here, just up ahead, you have the Quay Health Centre. This is where they've stuck all the doctors in one big block. I don't know how successful that's been, to be honest, because as doctors retire, they seem to be struggling to get any to come and take over. So they were even struggling to get locums in, so the patients were all over the internet going nuts for quite some time. I think they may have sorted it out a little now. That was just for one of the surgeries though, obviously, because there's a few. There's a few based in there, 2 or 3. And then you've got district nurses who are based in there, and phlebotomy services seem to be based in there, and then every now and then you'll get visitors coming, such as ophthalmology or something, or diabetic ophthalmology, test your eyes. Yeah, so if you're from the Quay and you can remember Park Hill Road getting destroyed and this being built, this is what it looks like now. Park Hill Road was kind of like behind the new inn, I think. I think at one point there was a bowling green behind the new inn. Park Hill Road was up the side, or round the back. I think it was sort of up here and then to the left a little, I think. It had long gone by the time I turned up, because my mum lived there for, I think, a few months before they compulsory purchased the housing and moved the people that lived there up to the new council built estates up in Red Hall. They got moved up to St Mark's Avenue. But I think people got moved into different areas because the house in Park Hill Road they owned. That was their own home, they bought it, but when it was compulsory purchase ordered, they ended up getting a council property. So I don't think the council give them much for the house, you know. Very likely, as with most things, they were probably ripped off. But what can we do, eh? I do like it here at night. I think it's very, very peaceful. He says, as he gets jumped. No, in all honesty, it's all right. It's not a bad little town. Becky Amaru's only going to get a Connah pop. How long ago was that? You've got a timestamp to check, I haven't. It was a while back though, wasn't it? Tell you what, let's go round here and try not to get stabbed. I mean, see what lurks behind here now. Where the health centre is here, there used to be a couple of houses, and this is where the Connah market was always held. And it was a good little market. Again, if you get on Google and Google Connah market, I bet you'll find a couple of photographs of it in its heyday, because there are some, I've seen them. I think Park Hill Road was over that direction, I think. Because I remember my granddad saying that his back garden backed onto Dr. Gavin's back garden, and Dr. Gavin lived up Wepper Drive in those days. He's long since passed away, Dr. Gavin, but they were neighbours, and he was the GP, but he was also a friend. I think that happened a bit more in times gone by. I think that you could be friendly with the GP. You know, you'd invite them in for a drink or a cup of tea and all that sort of stuff, and they actually had time to come and take you up on the offer, whereas now you have to go to the surgery. They won't come to your house. They don't want to be your friend, and they're certainly not going to pop in for a cup of tea. Amri has kindly got me a can of, a bottle of even. Or is it Pepsi? Ray.
Would you like a sandwich?
No.
There's 3 in the packet.
I'll have. If you don't eat them all, I might have one when I get home. But if you eat them all, jolly good.
I've done. I only there's 3 in the packet.
No, to be honest with you, I'm not too bad. So try and scoff the lot. But if you can't, I'll have one. All I wanted was a drink. I'm trying to put away a bottle in a carrier bag, one-handed. It's a bit tricky. I managed it, look. But you can see what I mean about you do get the odd unusual type knocking around at night time. The Boathouse Pub, by the way, if you're from here and wondering where it's gone, does still exist. It's just around the back. They sold off the front portion of the pub. I'm assuming that the landlord was skinned. And William Hill took it over. And it's been William Hill now for quite a number of years. But the boathouse still does have a small portion of the building at the back. I think it's shut now, but it's just beyond that William Hill door. Just there. And there's the sign, Boathouse. So it's still about. Dental practice. Is that the one that you go to, love?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chippy shut. Looks like they're stripping off in there. It must be bloody roasting though, working in a chippy in this heat. It has been something like 35, 36 degrees or something mad today. And this is in a country when it reaches 17, you think it's your birthday. Oh, someone's been sick here, so perhaps avoid that. Yummy. The Custom House pub is still open, and I don't think it's kicking out time just yet. I don't think anyone, I don't know, maybe. They're not all coming out in droves anyway.
Karaoke disco, isn't there?
Karaoke disco. Ah, but there you go.
Disco's still on.
Yeah. I see, yeah. Flashing lights in the background. Now, when I was a kid, the Hippodrome was actually still a bingo hall. I remember it being a bingo hall. But it's been second-hand furniture for, good grief. Those guys must have been there since, I I don't know, 85, something like that, I guess. Oh, one of the windows has been bricked up in the cuzzy.
Yeah.
Let's have a nose through the window, see what's going on. Just people having a drink. I don't think there is any karaoke on, it's just a bandit, look. There's probably some kind of laws against karaoke screaming at 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday. Oh, look at that. If we'd waited by the chippy, we could have got on the number 10 bus. And there's the new location for contact cars. I don't actually know if it's open anymore. I don't know if you just phone them online or something. I can't recall seeing it open ever, but then I could be going past at times when it's just not open, I don't know. There's still a reasonable amount of traffic around, isn't there, for 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday? But I think that people are probably still getting used to actually being allowed to go out and stuff now. You know, because they've been tied down for such a long time during COVID, not being allowed to do anything or go anywhere or see anyone, etc. Loads of lockdowns and rules and not being able to do anything. I suppose it's now a bit of a novelty to actually get out and be able to do something. Because it has been, it's over 2 years now. You know, since the whole COVID thing kicked off. These people, I feel sorry for them because they've had the cladding put on, and they've either gone for or been told that they're having the white or grey version of it. We had a very similar choice, and I instantly put brick effect. And I don't know how it works, whether it's if the entire row choose brick effect, you're on a winner. But if you've got white on the main road here, it's absolutely rotten within an hour. Whereas the brick effect cladding stuff isn't too bad after probably, must be nigh on 10 years. It only feels like 2, but my grasp of timescales is flipping awful. Well, we've made it here so far, love. Mm-hmm. Do you think we'll manage to get home? Not quite sure what's going on with the land to the side of the church there, whether it belongs to the church or belongs to someone else, I don't know. there is a big fence up there to stop people from just wandering in there. I suppose it's to stop people from fly tipping 6 transits worth of crap, because they probably would if they could, and they do elsewhere here, you know. Or whether it's the Christian church has purchased it, I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to see the house that lurks behind all the trees and that, behind that old gate, because I was a toddler. I was about 4 years old when I used to look at the archway just built into the wall here. I don't know if you can actually see it because it's so dark, but trust me. But up there's an old house. And someone lives there because the gate was open before, it's shut now. So it's ever so interesting to see what it was like. I'm not cheeky enough to go up there though. One of the trees here has been chopped down. See the trunk off it. Like I say in my other videos, my word finding is still not great after COVID. I'm still struggling to use the correct words, because before COVID I tended to have quite a wide vocabulary. You know, I'd use a lot of different words just without thinking. But now I'm sat saying when I'm thinking about a word like lampshade or something like that, you know. Like the thing in front of us now, I'm thinking what it is. It's a street light, there we go. That's what I couldn't think of. That's why I had to come up with lampshade. But just to the left of the lampshade is a door in the roof. There's a door below and there's a door up top. And that again will have been for deliveries on the huge old wagons that used to come. The horses pulling 4 wheels. You know what I mean. Then, and because they were quite high up, that's why they used to have the doors up the top, and they used to store a lot of stuff upstairs in these old buildings. Bit of a shame that that door wasn't saved, really. Like I said in the daytime video, I'm quite keen on old Victorian and Edwardian and what have you doors. I think old big doors are fantastic. I think modern doors are absolutely pathetic. I'm sure they're nice and secure and they don't rot away like the old wooden doors do and what have you. But they're rubbish. I mean, you open those old doors on that building and you could get a table and chair through without folding it down. In here, you'd have to build it once you were actually in the building. I suppose stuff years ago was just made beforehand and then delivered as well, so perhaps that's why the doors were bigger. And the stuff that was made beforehand is generally rock solid. You got a set of old wardrobes from 1930s and put them up against a set of wardrobes from IKEA last week. I've got an inkling that the 30s jobs will probably win. The only thing with IKEA ones, they're probably better laid out. heading back towards the Quay Hill slowly. Going past Dock Road shortly. Just got to go past the old Ship Inn and then the Hare and Hounds pub. A lot of the pubs around here took a bit of a battering during COVID because pubs weren't allowed to open to prevent people mingling and giving each other COVID, so they locked them all up for quite some time. And they were doing a furlough scheme where you got so much of your wages, but that didn't particularly help landlords, so quite a lot of the pubs have bit the dust, unfortunately. Now the Ship, I think is back in action, though I haven't seen these curtains open for a bit, but again, it's probably because I'm going past late at night. When it's shut. But hopefully the Ship will be open soon, and also a little bit further on up the road we've got the Hare and Hounds, and hopefully before too long the Hare and Hounds 2 will be purchased and back open again. I think, especially if you're single, if you're an old bloke, 50 or whatever, and single, then having somewhere like a pub to go, I don't know, it's kind of like a little social occasion. I mean, you don't even have to drink ale if you want, you just have a shandy or whatever, or a Coke, who cares? But it just means that some of these old timers have got places to go. You know, once you're retired and say you haven't got a partner or whatever, I think they do offer a bit of a service, the little pubs. Like, I'm not a big drinker. Anne-Marie drinks far more than me, don't you, love? But I don't mind going to a pub. This will probably be a rarity in a few years' time. Telephone box. I mean, they're virtually extinct now. But amazingly, there is one still here. I just want to know, if you pick it up, does it have a dial tone on it? Oh no, I best leave it. It's got it's been left lying on its shelf. I don't fancy enraged addict leaping out from somewhere going nuts because I've just hung up on his call. There's the Hare and Hounds. And like Anne-Marie was saying before, on the right hand side, where that door is there, if you rewind a little bit and have a look through the photo albums, you'll see that that's an archway that goes through to the back where the horses used to go in. Because again, that's another bloody old pub. Can smell marijuana, quite strong. I'm assuming it's because everyone's got their windows open. There's a pussycat sat on top of a wall over there. Oh, he's seen us and he's off. Stranger danger. I just saw ears. There he is. Hello, puss. No, he's Oski. Leave me alone, mate. Poor pussycat. As long as he doesn't run out in the road. There he is, look. It's alright, Poss, we're leaving you in peace. See you later. Must be the rear entry to the bank buildings. Some dude on a skateboard. Swift over to let him go. Oh, he's gone. I think that's a nice little touch. The gardens. Nice, aren't they?
And stone row.
Stone row.
Terraced houses.
Oh, yeah. I think that's probably an old part of the Quay as well. I'm not 100% sure on Stone Row, I must admit. I've looked at this area a fair bit over the years, but I'm always looking at the Royal Welsh Fusilier building and the bank there, and seeing where the railway goes and things like that. Stone Row. Just careful there, love, there's a needle.
Where?
In your shadow. Step on the road and you won't go on it. See there on the floor?
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's one thing that I've never seen before here. my life, until recent months really, is discarded needles after drug use. It's a sad thing to come across, but we found one down our alley, and I've seen them dumped on the steps of the Swan and down adjacent roads and things, so it shows a bit of a decline in the area, which is a shame. This little piece of wall here was always either kicked down or collapsed, and people used to leap over the top and walk down the bank. So the council solution was put a metal bar there and put a bin in the front of it. Not repair the wall, no, just stick a bin in front of a metal fence. I mean, I may be laughing, but it worked though, didn't it? This is one of the older properties as well. And just up Garthorpe Avenue, if you follow the road round, you get to the Masonic Hall, Farfield Hall. And that too is a very old building. Be smashing to do a bit of history one day, perhaps, with some of the chaps that run it, maybe. I'm sure it's got some tales to tell. I'm going to try and capture the moon, because it's looking good behind those clouds, but unfortunately it is behind those clouds, so you can't really see it at the moment. Might be back in a sec. See, doesn't it look like something out of an old horror movie? So you have to let me know if it appears fully. Blimey, someone's on the rob. Peeking out ever so slowly, look. Look at that. Typically it's just behind a blooming street light, but we'd have to go up into the hills to get away from the street lights, really. Well, I know one thing, I'm not only melting, but I must have got my steps in today again. I don't think there's a day in the last fortnight where I haven't, so. Oh look, here we go. Look at that beauty. It's good, isn't it? Must have been interesting, like 130 years ago, where you come up here in your carriage and you go past the church and the school and turn into the Farfield Lodge driveway, get waved on by whoever's looking after the place, and then drive on up to Farfield Hall to visit whoever is, or whoever was in charge of the place back then. I know it's a Masonic lodge now, but I don't know if it's always been one or whether it was a family home. I'm assuming it was at one point. Like I say, I don't know a great deal about the history of Farfield Hall. Do you, love? No. There's tons of apples all over the floor here because they're all come walloping off the tree up here, which is a shame really, because they don't look ready to eat, so to speak. But I'm sure that the birds will eat them. The entrance to St Mark's Church, the new entrance. New as in it's only about 50 years old. There we have. I do like that new. If I had my SLR with me, I'd get some photos done. I left it at home today though, because I was already going to be carrying a tripod with a pile of gubbins attached and a bag full of other tricks just in case this all packed in. And a big bottle of Lucozade and all kinds of other stuff. So the vehicles there just don't really say over 50s, I don't know, maybe. I mean, I'll be over 50 in 4 years and I'd probably drive those vehicles. I think it's just when you hear that, you think it's going to be a pensioner's place, don't you? And it's not necessarily. Oh, I'm going to lose my moon now, look, it's going to go down over the hill and we're not going to be able to see it anymore. Whatever will I do? Where is it? Oh, it's over there. You can't see on this tiny little screen. The screen is about the size of a big bloke's thumbnail, and that's about it. On the Pocket 2. You can attach it to your phone, but then you have all this chunks of phone hanging out all over the place. Or you can do it wirelessly, but when you're walking around swinging a carrier bag, you've got a bag hanging off your neck, you feel like you melted about 3 hours ago. really be bothered. I'll tell you one thing I have noticed tonight, Anne-Marie, the cars have been really well behaved. Because, alright, he's got his music on, it's neither here nor there, but they're not all doing like 60 mile an hour up and down the road. There's a pussycat in the window over there. Hope he doesn't jump out. Yeah, because sometimes when you're walking home at night, late on especially, this place is insane. I mean, these cars were all doing 30 miles an hour. I mean, that was a car with a load of young lads in it. It was doing 30 miles an hour, but a lot of the time you'll be walking home like this late from somewhere, and there's cars coming up and down here, and they're going for it, you know. It's a case of zoom, and they're gone. Maybe it's the heat. Maybe people can't be bothered tonking everywhere when it's roasting out. The heat now, though, is definitely a more acceptable level. And it's been an enjoyable walk. I'm going to have to put all these clothes in the washing machine to dry off a bit. But it has been good fun. And we're now getting back to the Swan, where we started our adventure a few hours ago. It was an awful shame that this place shut, but I suppose not all of them can survive. Can you see the moon? Oh, hey, do you know what? You can just about see it. Just above the top of all the houses. See there? That'd make a cracking photo, wouldn't it? A decent camera, tripod, bit of a long exposure. God, you get a lovely photo there. Does look like something from a Hammer horror film. Well, anyway, gang, for the 3 or 4 people who probably watch this, I hope you enjoyed it. And once I finally get time at home to upload it, and we will see you soon. Have to do another one of these in the future and see how things have changed again, eh? Bye bye from the Swan and that marvellous moon. Night night for now.